everybody. My name is Dion Lafacade, and I'm the host for the There is Hope motivational series. Today, we are honored to have one of our West Indies greats with us. But before we start, I will be starting with a prayer. Dear God, I thank you for this opportunity to engage with Dwayne, the younger kids of Trinidad and Tobago, and the wider region as we are streaming this live around the world. So to our viewers online, welcome. Thank you for having us. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome Mr. Dwayne Bravo, who is one of our great heroes, to be on the There is Hope show, which is a motivational show, and you're going to get lots of information from Dwayne. Dwayne, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here. Good afternoon, everybody. And why y'all look so serious? We're just gonna have a normal, casual chat. I'm gonna try to take you all through my upbringing, how it was, what life was like growing up, and also I will be answering some questions. So I hope you all have some questions you would like to ask, and I'll try my best to answer it to the best of my ability. And we just enjoy the afternoon, and I see some of the parents are here as well. So hope you all listen as well. Yeah.
Dwayne, my first question to you, our theme is There is Hope. When you hear There is Hope, what does that mean to you?
I think once you hear the word hope, it always sends a message to your brain that there is a chance where something can happen. And you always have to have that confidence and that, as they call it, that hope that eventually something will happen. And whatever decision you make, whatever career path you choose, it's very important to have that belief. And belief is the most important thing. Once you believe in yourself and you believe in your ability, that's where the hope comes in. But if you don't have self-belief, then you start to doubt yourself, doubt your ability, and then you don't think that you can achieve anything. So the word hope, I always say to people that just have that belief, and a chance is there waiting to be grabbed. But you have to be prepared to grab that chance when it comes. Understand?
Dwayne, obviously you're world famous, all right? We were just chatting a little bit, and 5 million plus followers. That tells you something. That says quite a lot. But before the world knew you, I would like you to take us through a chronological sort of a journey from a youngster all the way to this. Can you just take us through that, please?
So I was born in a village called Cantero, which is Santa Cruz. Anyone know where Santa Cruz is? Have any idea? Okay, so that's where I was born and grew up. It's also the same village of Branch as Lara. Everyone know who is Lara? Yeah? Good. So Lara is my hero, my idol, my inspiration. And I remember when I was like 5 years old, I said to my dad, I wanted to be the next Brian Lara. Now that is just hearing about Brian Lara, seeing him play, hearing the importance of cricket and West Indies cricket, what it means to the people of the Caribbean and what it means to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So my dad was a big, big cricket fan. And as kids, it's always important to see a role model, to see someone and try to look up to them. Pick up something from that person that you idolize. So for me, it was Brian Lara. The only difference, Lara is left-handed, I'm right-handed. But I used to try to imitate him as a right-hander. So as soon as I finish school, everything I do, cricket is, for me, is my life. And one of the most important message I would like to give here today. A lot of kids, a lot of people now look at sport as just something, as a job or to pay the bills. For me, growing up, I played the sport because I love it. So what is important for you all now at this age, whichever sport you choose or whatever career you choose, you first have to love it. You don't play it because your parents tell you to play or you think you will make money. No, you have to love the sport first. You have to respect it. And then all the different accolades will come to it. So for me personally, I never imagined I will achieve the things I achieve. Because when you're 5 and 6 years old, you don't think about certain things. All you think about is just playing the sport that you love. Trying to be a Brian Lara, trying to be a Desmond Haynes. For me, at one point in time, I also feel I could have been at a Bolan. You know, at one point in time when it's football season, I want to be Russell Latapi. I want to be Dwight York. Because growing up, you have football season, cricket season, track and field, basketball. I want to be Michael Jordan. So I never tried to play one sport. Cricket was my gift. That was my God-given talent. But I also play other sports. And there is no other, I don't think there is any sport I cannot play. So for you all, don't limit yourself to just doing one thing, but make sure this one sport you choose, make sure you're really good at it. And you have to really commit to it and dedicate yourself to it and be disciplined. So I think that was one of my biggest strengths and asset. One, I know what I wanted to do. I know which sport I want to play. And two, I play different sports. So it helped me to be active all the time. And being able to play basketball, football, it also helped me in cricket in different ways. So as young athletes growing up, I will encourage you all to be very active. Very, very active. You know, this generation, it's different. You have a lot of more distractions. You know, we have a lot more games now, Nintendo games and cell phones, that you have different things that will take our focus away from what we really want to do. I see you started smiling when I said cell phones and games. So I know for sure you all have your own phones and iPads and stuff. Nothing is wrong with those things, but always remember the focus. If you want to be a professional athlete, if you want to be the best athlete at what you do, it takes a lot of hard work. Okay, it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of discipline, a lot of dedication. I was never scared of failures. I was never scared of failures. And I have a mindset growing up that I always like competing against my peers, against my elder brother, against my cousins. And everything I do, I turn it into a competition. So if I'm playing marble pitch, I make sure I win. If I'm playing basketball, I make sure I win. And if I don't win, I get upset with myself. But I try to make sure the next time I play, I win. So to have that mentality to always be the winner, always be the best. And that starts at this age. You don't wait till you get older, you get 18, and then start to think about winning. Now start to think about competing. Start to do it now. Instill it into your brain, into your body, and it will help you. So no matter what you do, just think to win, and always think to compete. And if you lose, it's okay. Get up and go again. don't feel sorry for yourself. Just make sure that competing is something that you take very close to your heart.
So, when you talked about 5 years old, you had this passion, you want to be the next Brian Lara.
Yeah.
What did you do? Did you just play in the neighborhood? At 5 years old, where did you go? Was there a cricket in school?
So I went to Harvard coaching clinic. That's where it first started for me. I used to play any opportunity I get, I used to play cricket. In the living room, in the yard, in school, in the savannah, every opportunity I get, I'll play by myself. I will take a ball, throw it on the wall, come back, I'll hit it. So I didn't need friends to play the game because every opportunity I get, I try to play the sport. And while playing it, I visualize different players. And again, it's about thinking about Brian Lara, thinking about Desmond Haynes, thinking about Ian Bishop. Those are names who are my heroes. So for you guys who are younger, you will have your own heroes in various sports, whether it's Cristiano Ronaldo, whether it's Messi, whether it's Kyron Pollard, Nicholas Puran, whichever sport you choose, there will be somebody you try to idolize. So for me, every chance I get, I play cricket. I joined Harvard coaching school at 5 years old. Well, I joined at 5, and the rule, I was supposed to be 6 years old. So I was too young. What my dad did, they told my father I need to come back the following year because I'm too young. But he felt at that time I was good enough to play. So what he did, he changed my date of birth. He changed my date of birth, and immediately he turned me 6. He just he joined 2 lines down, and I was in Harvard from 6 to 8. And I had those days where I started the fundamentals, the basics of the sport, and after that, I joined Queen's Park Coaching Clinic, which is where I really, really started to learn the game, get proper coaching. And there was this one guy by the name of Charles Gillen. He saw me playing cricket in the basketball court in Santa Cruz. I was just playing around my friends, my age group. And I guess he just saw a talented young kid, and he asked my parents if I can join Queen's Park Coaching Clinic. And those days, my parents could not afford it. And I think that was one of my challenges as well growing up. Come from a very humble family. And my dad used to just work taxi, a taxi driver. My mom was a housewife to a taxi working dad. And financially, it was difficult. This guy by the name of Charles Gillen said to my parents that he will sponsor me. He will make sure that I don't have to pay anything. All my dad has to do is just make the time to bring me to Sunday morning coaching. And after that, the rest is history. So some of you all might have similar challenges with your parents. Some might not have it. But the most important thing, whether you have it or you don't have it, once you have life and you have the sport in front of you, treat the sport and give the sport everything. Because if you give the sport everything, in return, the sport will give you back everything you want. So at that age, I learned the fundamentals of the sport at age 8, 9, 10. When I was 10 years old, I made the North under 15 team. And to this day, I was the youngest player to ever make the team. So at age 10. So anyone who is 10 is here? Anyone? Show me. Anyone is 10? You're 10? Good. So at that age, I already made North on the 15 team and started my journey.
So Charles Gillen brought you into Queen's Park.
Yeah.
And you said you did the fundamentals and so. Was it at any point, so of course you're going through all these coaches, and it seems to me that you had a vision of where you could end up. Was there a coach, or what sort of concretized it in you that to say, I am going to be somebody, right? Was it a coach? Was that just constant belief in yourself?
I think it's a combination. Again, when you're at that age, you never know how far you want to go. You just play the game with passion and pride and love, and you just let destiny take care of itself. And Charles Gillen has been that father figure and mentor for me. Until this day, we're still very close. I call him coach. But he saw the talent, he saw the gift. I would not be able to see that at that age. But what I had is because, again, the dedication for the sport, I think, is what really drive me. And as a 10-year-old competing against 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds, it never fazed me. I was always brave. And again, that's why I said, don't be scared of failures. Because if you be scared of failures, then more likely you will fail. But in life, nothing is wrong with failing. And that goes with exams, that goes with the sport, that goes with a job. It's okay. But you must never let failure bring doubt into your mind and make you think that you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough, or you're not going to make it. So my mindset was like that. Like, I just always had that mindset that I'm going to achieve whatever I put out myself to.
It's totally incredible because you talked about, having that doubt. Was there at any point when you were a youngster, you said, I don't know if this is for me, right? I'm doing well, I have the passion, but was there at any time you felt maybe not? Was there, because some of the youngsters here might feel that they're doing well and they might have scored a goal, be on top of their game, and then they go and train and they play in their different sports, and then one day didn't work out too well. Was there a day like that and you felt, well, I'm not quite sure?
I had one obstacle when I was 14 years old, 15. I went to Guyana with the Trinidad and Tobago under 15 team. And Ian Bishop was the manager of the team at that time. And a couple of my teammates, we decided to break curfew, and we went out at that time. And the manager and the coach hear about the fact that 3 of his players break curfew. And the next day, he called us into a meeting, and he said, we break the rules, break the curfew, we let our country down, we let our teammates down, pack our bags, and we're going back home. And when he said that, those words, I was like, first thing I think, like, what my parents will do, what my parents will say. And I thought at that moment, what's next for me? Because even the drive on the way back to the airport is like, wow, I'm really going back home. So that was one of the most disappointing times in my early stages of my career. So get to the airport, get back home, and meet my parents when we land. So remember, I'm just 15 years old, so I'm still a kid. Anyone is 15 here? Who is 15? Good, so we have a few guys. So at your age, just imagine you went to represent your country and you get sent back home. So now I wasn't sure how my parents was going to react. But for some of you who might know my father, I think my parents were very supportive. Even though I did something wrong, they was very supportive of me. So to the parents there that is listening, your kids will make mistakes. And it's important that, yes, you punish them, but you also have to understand that it's a mistake and they don't punish them to the fact that they lose the love for the sport. So my dad, the first thing he asked me, what I did. So I said to him, well, I break curfew, I went over the road, and I come back beyond the time I was supposed to come back. And my dad's words was, that's what he sent you home for? So it was just like, I wasn't scared anymore. And then, but I wasn't sure where next my career will go. And I remember when I was 16 years old, a guy by the name of Richard Smith, he was the Queen's Park club captain and also the national captain for the national senior men's team. And he picked me at 16 years old to play for North in the men bigs division. So that is like the big boys, So all the big guys who I idolize, whether it's Dinanath Ramnarine, Darren Ganga, Suraj Raghunath, all these big players who are already representing the country, I am there as a 16-year-old have to play this game. And that is when I started to believe again that this is for me. And I will never, ever make a mistake like that again. And, to this day, like, that one lesson that could have cost me everything, and given the opportunity again, I make sure and not make similar mistakes. So I could share that even today, now I'm 41 years old, I don't drink alcohol, I never drink alcohol, I never gamble, no form of drugs, nothing like that. And I achieved everything that I want to achieve in life. So sometimes growing up, you might feel as though to be fitting and accepted amongst your friends, they might encourage you to take a drink, go online, take a little pull. These things will come. If it didn't come yet, it will come. But I want to encourage you all, when they do come, that you all are strong enough to say no. You don't want this. I'm not ready for this. Okay? So, and don't feel that pressure that you have to drink or you have to take a pull to fit into the crowd. Be your own leader. Let people follow you. You don't follow people. So, always remember what you want in life. What is your dream and your passion will never be someone else's own. So don't follow friends. Do the lying, do the drinking. Make sure that you know what you want for yourself. And your focus must always be make your parents proud, make yourself proud, make your country proud.
So Dwayne, what a journey. What a journey. And we're now getting warm. We're now getting warm. You talked a little bit about confidence, right? And let's go, before you get onto the West Indies, how long did you spend playing for Trinidad at the youth level and at the senior level? And what was that like, having to face, as you talked about, the Bishops and the top players in Trinidad and Tobago? And you're 15, 16, 17. What was that like?
So in the game, in that same particular game, I was 16 years old. I scored 62 runs, and that was a great achievement. I remember still in school, going to Tranquility Government, and the headline the next day in the papers was this 16-year-old Bravo belt South bowlers across the park. And going back to the school and the next day, I feel like I'm a hero. Everyone is congratulating me and stuff. So when you do well, these things happen. And I never forget, the national team went to I think it's Anguilla. They went to play a game. I wasn't in the team, I wasn't selected. But while the team was in Anguilla, I was playing for Queen's Park Cricket Club in the Oval. And I dived to take a catch, and I broke my collarbone. So I went to Sinclair Medical, get an x-ray, put my hand in a sling, and come back to the Oval. On my way back to the Oval, I get a phone call, my dad got a phone call, where the captain of the national team at the time, the head selector said, please let young Bravo report to national duties in 4 days' time. They didn't have a clue that I just broke my hand. And when I get that phone call and I get that message, I break down in tears. I started crying because I thought that was my moment and that was my dream basically went shattered in front of my face. So at 16 years old, I had the opportunity to represent my country at a senior level. At that time, I would have been the youngest player ever to play. But I think God had it that I wasn't ready. And sometimes when things do happen to you, you ask yourself, why? Why this happening to me? Why it is at this stage in my career where I'm about to take off, something like this happened? And the answer was, I don't think I was ready yet to play. And it took me 2 years later to make the national team. I made it at 18 years old. And when I make it at 18 years old, I felt I was more prepared at that point in time. Because when you start to play for your country, you remember you coming up against, you're no longer coming up against your peers. You're coming up against the best in the other countries, the best in Jamaica, the best in Guyana, the best in Barbados. And I don't think I was ready at 16, but that 2 years difference make a difference. So at 18 years old, I made a national team for the first time. And also went on to make West Indies under 19 team. And when I made West Indies under 19 team, it was the first time I left the Caribbean. And my first trip outside of the Caribbean was New Zealand. Now, for those who have any idea where New Zealand is, it take us like about 35 hours to get there. So, you might go to Tobago and spend 20 minutes on a plane. Then you might go Barbados and spend 30 minutes on a plane. You might go to Jamaica and might spend 2 hours on a plane. Just imagine flying for about 34 hours. That's how far New Zealand was. So imagine us as 18-year-old kids going over there for the first time. And when we land there, it's cold. Very cold. We're accustomed to hot sun and rain. So that moment, that was an experience for me when I started to understand now that for me to play international cricket, these are some of the things I have to get accustomed to. Long flights, away from home, away from your comfort zone, different weather. So if any one of you all have this opportunity, at some point in time you will be representing your country. These are the things you will have to encounter. But you don't shy away from it. You embrace it. You accept it. And you figure out a way how to make it work. You figure out a way how to get comfortable. You figure out a way how to get accustomed to the weather. Figure out a way how to perform in these conditions. And that is something that definitely I learned at a very young age.
No, awesome, awesome. I know we have quite a few guests who would love to ask some questions. So if you would like to ask a question, can you put your hand up? Anybody, please? Yes? Shay, please come forward.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My question for you is, growing up, what was the work like that you had to put in to become the level you are today?
So, very good question. Again, it will be the typical Sunday morning coaching. That is 3 hours a day. And, but the basic push-ups, sit-ups, running, and I think me playing all these different sports also helped me. I never had a Gregory growing up that you all have now. And I think it's very important that, so these are some of the things I wish I had growing up. Someone who can teach me how to train properly, the right exercises, and how to eat, all those things. So you're looking at 20-something years ago, 30 years ago, it was just natural stuff I did. Now you have someone who can teach you what is the right thing to do. So to answer your question, what sport you play?
Football.
What position?
Center, midfield.
Center midfield. Which is your player you look up to?
Probably De Bruyne.
De Bruyne, yeah. So you support Man City?
No.
No. Which team you support? Huh? Which
I
team?
support United, but they are no good.
You support
midfielders.
United and De Bruyne is your favorite player? Okay.
What a mix.
No problem. But it's important. And how old are you now?
I'm 13.
13. Good. So obviously your trainer will design a program for you for your age, and it's important for you to also give him feedback. You know, if you find if you get in pain or you don't think it's something that's working with your body, you also share that information. But it's important to have physical and technical aspect of a game down pack. And again, you all have the luxury now to have this. I never had that. So I said just rely on natural running, push-ups, sit-ups, and competing in different sports.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah?
Thank you very much, Shay. And just to, before Scotty comes up, so we obviously here, and we're happy to be here at Athlete House. Looking back now, there are athletes here now who think, well, I'm talented, I'm obviously talented in whatever sport. How important is the sports science side of it? And if you're giving advice to young people that say, it's just my talent alone is going to get me there, what you'd like to say to them?
No, I don't think talent alone will not get you there. Talent alone will only get you so far. And I think that's one of the reasons why West Indies cricket on a whole is struggling, because back in the days, when you rely on talent, it was talent versus talent. And we were always more naturally talented than the rest of the world. But now, the rest of the world using their talent and they're enhancing it with science and technology and programs. So talent will only get you just far. And a lot of talented people, I'm not the most talented person in my sport. I know there are some players who are way more talented than I am, but they haven't reached or achieved anything close to what I've achieved. Because the difference for me is I study the game, I invest in the game, and investment means, you all know the meaning of investment? Let me hear, tell me. Tell me what you don't know? Tell me if I said invest in something, what it means. You can answer? Okay, so let me answer it for you, right? So when people hear the word investment, they think about money, investing money. But investment is time. How much time you put into actually watching the sport. So for me, I spend a lot of time watching the sport, growing up and now. So if you want to be involved in a particular sport, you have to really invest in that sport. A game cannot be going on TV and you're not watching it. A game cannot be going in the stadium and they don't tell the parents they want to go and watch it. You cannot decide to be on a laptop or on a phone or with friends and neglect the sport. If you neglect the sport will neglect you. And that is what investment means. So it's just like you're going into buy a property. So for the parents and them, they see this building, they buy it as an investment. They know in some point in time they will get a return. So if you invest in a sport, at some point in time you'll get a return. If you don't invest in it, what will happen? You get no return. Good. You see, only follow it. All right? So make sure you dedicate your life to the sport.
So, who's next question, please? Next. Does Scotty come up, please?
Afternoon.
After your injury, did you get like a feeling like you had lost, that was it, you lost your chance? And like after it, was there something that like motivated you to try and keep working?
Yeah. So when I get that first injury at 16 years old, that's when I broke down and started crying because I thought that was my moment and that was my time and that was my chance and I lost it. And then, you know, my parents and my coaches keep saying to me, don't worry, these things happen. You will get your chance again. So and eventually I switched my focus on my recovery, getting better, and start back to play again. So if you do get an injury, it's important to don't think that's the end of the world. It's important to focus now on getting back better. And when you get back better, that is by your rehab with the physios and the trainers and stuff, and then get back playing the sport again. But there was a little doubt, but the moment I start to think about, okay, my process to get back, that doubt automatically go away.
Thank you very much,
question?
Scotty.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you very much. Chloe, please come.
Afternoon. So similar to Scotty's question, what mindset did you use to help you stay focused and perform your best even under pressure or when you had bad days?
I think that mindset of being competitive and have that champion mentality in me from a very early age. So everything I do, I try to win. And competition brings the best out of me. Which sport you play?
Football.
Football also? So right, so when you play in football, it's always important to tell yourself you're the best. Believe you're the best. And show that you are the best. And that is just words that I can give to anybody, especially when they start to doubt themselves. A bad game will come, but don't let a bad game make you go into a shell or start to doubt yourself. And also playing football, playing cricket, playing basketball, those team sports, it's also very important to be a team player because you cannot achieve anything without your teammates. So as much as I achieve so much in life, I also rely a lot on my teammates. So it's important that you guys also rely on the teammates. The teammates must be able to trust you. You must be able to trust the teammates. And it's okay to compete against your teammates, but it's not okay to be jealous of your teammates or try to compete in a way where it is you're not happy for him or you're not happy for her. Be happy for everybody else's success. Don't ever get jealous of anybody because what's for you will be for you. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Dwayne, before the next person comes up, you talked about your teammates. When you travel, obviously, all over the world to play, which world player, who you played against, really stood out to you? And you maybe did you pinch yourself and say, well, I can't believe I'm playing against this particular player, having grown up watching that play? Is there a player like that for you?
I think the first player I never thought growing up I will ever get to play with Brian Lara. So when I made the West Indies team, I made the West Indies team at 20 years old. So growing up, I always think, obviously, Lara is a lot older than me, so I would think by the time I start to play for West Indies, he will be retired, he will be done. It so happened I made the team very early, at 20 years old, and Lara was still playing. So making the team at that point in time and seeing him right in front of my eyes was a wow factor.
Wow.
Because Lara is like God to me. You know, so it's like you're seeing Jesus Christ right in front of you. That's how. So when I see Brian Lara, it's like I just stare at him and can't believe I'm in the same room with my idol. And at that time, he is the greatest player of all the records. So that was that first wow moment. And the other moment was when I played in IPL, Sachin Tendulkar. So for those who don't know who Sachin Tendulkar is like, you know, in this generation, everybody talk about Messi and Ronaldo. Who is better? Growing up for me, it was like that. Lara Tendulkar. So both of them, for decades, depending on who you like, you will decide who is better. But those are the two biggest players in the cricketing world. So for representing my country for West Indies, Lara was my captain. And when I played in India in IPL, Sachin Tendulkar was my captain. So I remember the first time I saw Sachin Tendulkar, he come downstairs for breakfast and he picked up an apple. And I stared at him eating this apple. And I was like, wow, Sachin Tendulkar eating an apple. So that's how, for me, when I admire somebody,
Wow.
you never think that you will get to be in the same room with this person. Because you're young, you're growing up, you hear so much about them, and you thought when your time comes, these people will be done, and that's it. But yeah, that's how it was for me, for Lara, for Tendulkar. And another one story is Beanie Man. Anyone know Beanie Man? Yeah, he like doubles. Don't worry about that. Okay? Well, you know who's Beanie Man? Anybody know who's Beanie Man? No? Yeah? Okay, well, the parents must know Beanie Man. Right, so Beanie Man, I do music as well. And that is my musical inspiration, Beanie Man. And I remember I always wanted to meet this man. Like, since I was 14 years old, trying my best to get to meet Beanie Man. Never got the opportunity to meet him. And the first time I got to meet him was 2006. So I tried meeting him in 1998, 1999, 2000. Never had a chance to meet him. The first time I got to meet him was in 2006. And I was 22 years old. So I was already a big boy. I was already playing for West Indies. I was already a household name in the entire Caribbean. And the first time I got the opportunity to meet Beanie Man this close, it was a feeling that I always described there. I got to meet the Queen of England. I got to meet different prime ministers all over the world. I never felt that way meeting another human being. But then I saw Beanie Man. And when I was leaving, he leaned over his balcony and he gave me his phone number. So when I stole his number in my phone now, I got back into my hotel and I was sitting in my room and I was like staring at Beanie Man number on my phone. I can't believe I actually have his number, you know? Because again, for you to know what you want in life or where you're going, you have to find that hero. You have to find that person who can inspire you to greatness. And Beanie Man was like that. Brian Lara was like that. Sachin Tendulkar was like that. So all these people I idolize, I took out something from them. And let's use it into my upbringing, into my craft, and how I want to go about my career. database story for that, so that when you all see your heroes, like this, I don't know who is your hero, but pick somebody, idolize them, and try to be like them.
That's fantastic. Yes, please come in. Burning question.
So I would like to know, how do you deal with high pressure situations? How do you like play under high pressure?
So, first of all, with sport. So to answer your question, and this goes with I believe I will win that game because I already played that game in the practice before. And my mind and my muscle memory will take me back to that particular moment. So to answer your question, when you practice, practice like you're playing a game. And put your body and your mind through that pressure so that when the game time comes, it becomes easier. You won't feel that pressure. So you have to prepare yourself first. It's just like if you're going to sit an exam in school, you study. And if you study well and you go to the exam, you feel confident that you will pass the exam. If you don't study, then you don't feel confident. Make sense? Good. So when you guys practice with a high intensity, like how you play in a game. I think it will help. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Very good question. Please come.
Use one of the phone and the game.
Oh, no. Afternoon. I wanted to ask, on the field, sometimes you lose focus. How do you refocus during those matches?
I think it's a very similar question. So when you lose focus in the game, you try to go back into a moment of the things you did well, and that might be in a different game. Or it might be in a different moment. You might experience something you did that really sent a message to your brain, and it give your brain that kind of comfort that I'd been there before, I had done this before, I can do it again. And just to roll over into the same thing I just previously said, the way how you prepare yourself, if you prepare yourself halfway, you will get halfway results. If you prepare yourself fully, you will get full results. So what you put in is what you will get out. So and pressure, the pressure really come at you, and you feel that pressure when you're under-prepared. But if you prepare well, when that pressure comes, you will embrace it because you prepare well. And once you prepare well, you will deliver. So it's a matter of preparation and trust. Thank you.
When we talk about the power of words, and they say there is power in your words, was there something a teammate, a coach, a fan while walking out said to you that had either a positive or negative effect on you based on the power of words?
I never recall, like I never experienced something like that. I just know my confidence is so high that it doesn't matter whether someone says something good or something bad. I believe in myself. And I know that once I cross the field, whether I have the ball in my hand or I have the bat in my hand, my confidence will get me through any situation. And again, I will keep going back to preparation, because the way how I prepare myself to play a game, if you see me practice in the nets, you will actually think it's actually a game I'm playing. So the moment I play the game, it's like a walk in the park for me.
Because you have young people, not only here, but listening around the world, who are saying that one of their teammates, or could be their family, it could be a coach, said something to them, and they don't know how to deal with it because, so for example, if you're a batsman, you're going to get out at the first ball, right? Or you're not going to score a goal, or you're not going to have a good swim meet, or play a good tennis match. How important is them to learn to deal with these words that might not be correct affirmations?
I think when they get these kind of negative words coming your way, it's important. You will hear it, but it's like you don't hear it. You try to block it out, and you try to prove them wrong. But you're not hearing it to go out there to prove them wrong. You're just hearing it, okay, this is what you think about me. I'm going to show you I'm better than that. So never use a negative word to distract you. Use it to inspire you.
That's brilliant. Please come. Yes. It's a big ladder.
My question to you would be, during a game, how would you handle pressure, whether it being defending a certain amount of runs in an over, or even, you are the last batsman that the team is depending on, and you have X amount of runs to make in 2 overs, let's say that.
Sorry, just repeat the question so the audience could hear as well.
So you asked the question, how do I deal with pressure? Coming out to the last over in the game, the team needed 16 runs, 15 runs, and the ball in my hand. Those are scenarios I face throughout my entire career, and those are moments sometimes I win and sometimes I lose, but the record will show that I win more than I lose. The moment I lose is when the country kill me, right? But it's, again, preparation. These are the moments I train for, I practice for. So you listen to the likes of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and these people when they speak. He will take 1,000 free throws. You'll miss some. But he's not going to fail based on lack of effort. You're not going to fail based on lack of preparation. So, again, to answer your question, the way how I prepare myself, I know when I cross the line and these moments come, 8 out of 10 times I will win. I'll come out on top. So, whichever sport you play, preparation, practice. Practice with a purpose. A lot of people go to practice because the coach say, okay, practice is 3 to 6 p.m. or 9 a.m. to midday. And they just go to practice because the coach called practice. What do you do when the coach is not watching? What do you do when the parents is not watching? Those extra practice sessions, those extra hours, those extra 30 minutes will make a difference. And always try your best to do that extra, to be different. So your results will be different. Yeah? Okay.
Dwayne, you're obviously very good in batting and bowling, but I've watched some of the games. And you've bowled, and for those of you who don't know cricket, the batsman hit him for 6 runs. So that means take the bat, hit the ball outside of the stadium. And when you watch, they may or may not find the ball. The umpire comes with a box of balls, you take another one, and you bowl again, and the guy hits you for 6 in the same over. And then I've seen where, in that same over, you've taken a wicket. Prior to taking that wicket, what was that like? Being hit for 1, 2, 3 sixes consecutively. What was that like?
Sometimes there's a different combinations. So now that I'm coaching and before while I'm playing, I always say, when someone hit you for a six, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad ball, but you have to also give credit to the player. Because remember, it's talent versus talent. And at this level, you're competing against the best. So they will be able to hit those six, hit those fours. What I will always reflect back on, I will bring myself back into real time, bring out my competitive nature, and try to figure out a way and analyze how could I get this person out. So if he hit a six, I will analyze why he hit that six. Maybe it was based on a mis-execution, and I will try to correct myself in the moment. And all that is because of my preparation and my practice. I practice different deliveries, different scenarios, and it's the same thing. If it is something is not going your way at that point in time, you now have to use your brain to figure out a next formula, how you're going to get the better part of your competition.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Young lady, please. Yes, come.
Good afternoon. My question is, if you know you have talent and your coaches have expectations for you, but you have trouble believing in yourself, like, how do you dig deep and believe in yourself?
How you believe in yourself? So you know you have talent, your coaches know you have talent, but you don't believe in yourself? Is that you? Why you don't believe in yourself? What do you think, why you don't believe in yourself?
Because I don't see how talented I am. I know I'm talented, but I don't see it.
You don't see it?
No.
What sport do you play?
I do gymnastics.
Gymnastics? So do you idolize anyone? Do you look at anyone? Who?
Simone Biles.
Ah, I know that. Yeah? So you ever look at some of her videos and listen to it?
Yes.
Yeah? So how old are you now?
I'm 14.
14? Okay, so I think to answer your question, I'm not sure if I was listening before, but it's important that when you do your training and your preparation, to have a mentality and a thinking that you are the best, right? And you will be the next biggest thing, the next best thing coming out of Trinidad and Tobago. And you just have to put it in, always feed your mind positive energy. If you feed your mind positive energy, positive will come out, positive results will come out. If you feed your mind negative energy and start to doubt, then that will also come out. Okay, so moving forward, the moment you leave here and you sit back down, what's your name?
Gabrielle.
Gabriel. So you say Gabriel is a champion. Everybody knows, say Gabriel a champion, sing. Champion,
Champion, champion, champion.
Everybody knows, say
Gabriel
Gabriel
is
a
a
champion.
champion.
So
Champion.
remember that. All right?
Champion.
Good.
Awesome, awesome. Gabriel is a champion. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Next question, please. Next question, please.
Dwayne, good evening, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to share your experiences with us and the kids and everyone around the world. My son was supposed to be here as well, but I think he's a bit awestruck.
He's shy.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
One is, what do you do on those particular days where you just seem unmotivated, disinterested, you're tired to just get out of bed, to go train, to put in the hard work? what do you say to yourself? How do you motivate yourself on those particular days where you just really don't want to get up in the morning?
I think for me, at this age, I never had that feeling. But I could be honest, when I get older, at some point in time, it comes to me that I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But I think the love and pride. Because if I don't train and I don't prepare myself well, I don't think I'll be mentally and physically prepared to perform to the best of my ability. And I don't want to take a field when I'm not prepared fully. I don't want to let down myself or let down my teammates or let down my fans. So the moment that feeling come to me, I think about my fans, I think about what I want to do, I think about my legacy, and then I said, you know what, I have to go. So to answer your question, you have to find something that will bring that spark to you and remind you that, hey, so for your little daughter case, you might say, okay, I want to make my daddy proud. I want to make my mommy proud. I want to make my friends proud. I want to make myself proud. So when you feel lazy, you don't feel like doing it again, always remember that somebody is watching. And also remember that a lot of the opportunities that you guys have now, there are some people who don't have it. So don't take those things for granted. There are some people who cannot wake up in the morning and have a cup of tea. There are some people who cannot wake up in the morning and can go and play a sport. But just remember to be grateful that you can wake up and go and play a sport. You can wake up and have breakfast. You can wake up and say hi to your dad, hi to your brother or your sister. Some people don't have that. So for me, again, I always look at all these scenarios. Why God chose me? Why He gave me the talent He gave me? He could have given someone else, but He gave me. So I have to be grateful for that. And I don't ever take those things for granted. But I make sure that I also do my part. And that comes with practice, that comes with discipline, that comes with listening to your parents, your coaches, your teachers, your adults, your friends, everything. All that comes into it.
Okay, and the other question is, what legacy do you hope to leave behind in your sport, and how do you want to be remembered for future generations of athletes, young cricketers, footballers, squash players?
So I say I always answer this question and not only answer it, but I also say to my kids. So I have 3 kids. My daughter is 20. I have an 11-year. Yes, I have a 20-year-old daughter. I have an 11-year-old son, and I have a 7-year-old son. And in my conversations, I always say I always want to be remembered as a good human being, a good person, a good teammate, and a good friend, rather than a good cricket player or a good entertainer. So first and foremost, try to be a good human being. That is more important than being a good athlete or being anything else. So my legacy is my teammates, my opponents, my peers, the people of my nation must remember me as someone, as a good human being. And everything else, all my achievements is there to speak for itself, but it doesn't make sense to achieve a lot in life, but people don't respect you as a person.
Yeah.
So be a good human being.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I see she has a cricket bat with her. So Bravo's going to do some signing autographs afterwards. So keep that bat handy.
Sure.
Yeah? Please, next question, please. Nathan? Yes.
Hi, good night. So my question is, what advice would you give to any young athletes who want to balance skill development fun and fitness?
Well, good question. So, fitness as an athlete, very important. And fitness is not only physical training. Fitness also, the things you eat will also have an impact. How much sleep you get will also have an impact. And it doesn't make sense if you train hard physically, but don't rest properly or don't eat properly. Okay? So it all go hand in hand. So make sure when you train hard, you rest properly, you eat properly, you recover properly. When you want to have fun, which sport you play?
Football.
Football. So you have to, let's say you have 7 days in a week. So you have training for 4 days in the week, right? So you said, all those 4 days, 3 days is where you go all out. And that 4th day is when you relax and you have your fun. You also have to enjoy the sport. And enjoying the sport is having fun. Okay, but don't have fun for 3 days and then train for 1 day. Okay, so the fun could never overlap the serious time. Okay, so your reward when you train hard, you have an off day. It's just like, there's some days, as I said, the way you eat, it might have a day you have a cheat meal. Might have a day you might eat chocolates or pizzas or something. You're still human, so you are allowed to do those things. But don't let that be the priority. Okay, so with your football, again, if you train 4 days a week, those 3 days, you make sure you give it your all. The 4th day, you can slack off, you can have fun, you can chill and relax. And also, guys, what is also important is don't think that you will achieve everything now. There's steps there, there's layers, so there's under 15s, there's under 19s, there's nationals. What I realize now with this generation, everybody wants success now. It's not going to happen now. It's going to happen at the right time, and just make sure that you prepare yourself for when it happens. You don't want when your name call, and when it's your time, you're not ready. Okay? Understand? Okay.
So to the young people who are here and they're very talented, because I see somebody, when you were talking about being 5 years old and you're emulating Brian Lawrence, so I saw quite a few of the heads going, wow. Mm-hmm. So if we have young people here and listening around the world saying that, I don't think I should do schoolwork. I want to be a best cricketer or whatever sports person. How important is schoolwork?
Yeah, it's very important because I think, so there are some people who can balance academics and sport, and there are some people who can't balance it. So if you know you are one of that child, or your parents know that you are one of that child that can't balance it, but you're really good at sport, to the parents, I will advise, don't pressure your kids too much into the books if it's not really working for them. And for the kids, don't neglect your books, because it's very important for you to understand the importance of your education, right? But the reality is, some of us, from an academics point of view, are not the sharpest, but some of us, our gift is our talent. And that is whether it's cricket, football, basketball, track and field, gymnastics. All right? Then there's some of us who are very much, way more educated than the others, but they're not as talented. All right? So parents, there's a balance. You have to find that balance, but you also have to be realistic to know what is your child good at. And a lot of parents always try to push the academics in front and punish the child if they don't do well. They'll get the right marks. Okay, I take away the bat, I take away the ball, no more football for you, no track and field for you because they didn't get the right grades. Parents, please, no. Okay? Because if a child is not that child who can balance both, but the child is really good at sport, that child will make you proud in that sport, and whichever sport he or she choose. But it's important for that child to also know that if you're giving up academics, make sure you make it in sport. Because if you make it in sports, the money that's involved in sport now, you will make sure your entire family is well taken care of.
Sorted out.
Okay? So some of you all might be motivated by money or whatever, and that's fine, but you cannot get that money if you average. You cannot get that money if you don't make sacrifices. You cannot get that money if you follow friends. So friends want to go on lime and party, so you miss a game or you miss training. It's not going to work like that. Okay? So again, I will plead, if you can do both, Brian Lara did both. I didn't did both. But Brian Lara did both, okay? But we both successful. And how do you weigh up success? Okay? So don't feel as though if it is from a book's point of view, you're not getting the marks you want to, or you're letting down your parents, or you're letting down yourself down. Don't let that determine where your destiny is. Okay? I hope that answers your question, and I hope the parents also, take into that as well.
Very, very wise words. Very, very wise words. Mom, please, yes?
It's fantastic. I think like Dion probably saw me come to sit here and he got the brainwave to ask you that question just now, because I have a similar question to ask you. And I agree with you totally, yes. As parents, we should value athleticism as a type of intelligence because not everybody could do it. When I watch my daughter, I think she could do, I can't, and her brother can't, but there are things that we could do that, you know, it's not in her abilities, I guess. But my question is, for all of us parents who are watching our children, and whether we're delulu or not about their talent, yes, we will change their date of birth to make sure they get in the club. Yeah. Right? We'll do those things if necessary, right? But what in your experience, if it's at all, because I follow you on Instagram and I see your dad he's your biggest fan, hands down, right? What, can you pinpoint anything that he may or may not have done that would have impacted on your success that parents probably should try not to do? So that they don't impact on their children's success.
Okay. So I think, again, especially my father, you know, my mom, I have two very chill parents. I think that's the best parents that I could ever ask for. But my dad is the driving force behind my success because he's the one who will pick me up from school, take me to practice. Anywhere I go for cricket, he will be that person to take me. But I think because my father, he himself, from an academic point of view, he just went basic school. So to him, as much as school is important, to him, he figured that the cricket was more important for him, for me, and my other brother, and I have another brother who play as well. Darren. So the both of us are very successful based on our cricketing skills. And we wasn't the sharpest from the school point of view, but my parents, my dad and my mom, never make us feel as though, okay, you cannot play the sport no more. You can't do this anymore. They keep encouraging us. And I think my father felt that maybe this is my gift, what I need to do. And I never had that pressure. So therefore I was just able to really focus on the sport. And what I'm saying is, if from an education point of view you're not the sharpest, just make sure that whatever you choose, whichever sport you choose, you give that sport your all. That sport has to be your way out. Because if you fail in academics and you fail in sport, then that is where the problem comes in. So for parents, you will know how sharp your kid is, and from an academics point of view and from a talent point of view. When they're at this age, you're still not sure how great they will be, but it's important to keep pushing them and supporting them and listen to them. And that's also very important. You know, there will be time, your kids must not be scared of you to share how they feel and express how they feel. So they must be able to come to mommy or come to daddy and tell them when they're not feeling right, when they're feeling down, when they have a bad game, and you all must be that person who be able to give them the best advice to get them back to feeling good. You know, so as parents, again, all parents, myself included, like, you know, we always feel as though as parents, we want our kids to have the best in everything. And if they disappoint us, we punish them. And our punishment is by taking away something that they love. I try not to do that. So I'll advise not to do that, but also for them to understand how important it is to really dedicate and commit to one if they can't do the both of them. So your job as a parent is to make sure that you really know and understand your kid. And if they can do both, push them to do both. And encourage them to do both. And if they can't, whichever they're good at, I think is the one that they're better at, is the one you have to really focus them in.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Dwayne, I'm interested to find out your view on why young people get into crime. And also, so it's a two-part question. Why do young people get into crime? And what advice you'd have to young people with regards to crime? That's a loaded question, yeah?
I don't know. I think that one is tough because the crime scenario that's going on in the country now, I personally believe is because of lack of opportunities in communities. And growing up in Santa Cruz, I was able to have the luxury of going to the Brandla Recreation Ground. And there's be a kid. Just play basketball, let's play cricket, let's play football, let's run, let's, you know, go and pelt mangoes, play pitch. So I think these are things that my generation grew up under, but this generation now it's different. And you don't see from a recreation point of view, you don't see proper infrastructures in those community grounds. You don't see programs anymore. It take a few people who really have that passion to take youths and encourage them to be active in sport. And I just felt as the young generation they lose hope. And if it is, again, they don't think that they're not educated enough, I think society is designed in a way, if you're not educated, you can't make it. And I don't think that is right. I think, you know, if you're not educated but you're talented, you can still make it. But because the leaders and the elders in those villages, they themselves maybe not educated, but they get their success based on quick money, guns, drugs. The ones who grown up in that village, they will feel as though that is the right thing to do. But I will always advocate is for be active. Find a passion. Find a passion and go after it. And it has so much different things you can do, whether it's sport, whether it's music, anything creative, and you can make a honest living. And I think we lose that element in communities. That's why you're seeing so much negative effects happening now around the world and in the country.
So you made a fantastic point. These young people don't have that hope. They don't feel that they can make it. They obviously watch you on the newspaper and the television and seeing you on television and they're thinking, well, who's going to give me that chance? I want you to, if you can, Dwayne, say a little advice to the people who have within themselves to do something within their community. I know sometimes resources might not be there, fully there, but what advice you'd give to somebody who's in a community, watching the youths outside and saying, oh, they up to no good? What advice could you give to those people, those leaders in the community?
Yeah, I think those leaders, you just have to make a difference. You just have to want better for your village, want better for your community, and a lot of people will always say, okay, well, the government need to do this, the government need to do that. The government could only do so much. Like, growing up, I never rely on the government. I didn't know what the meaning of the government was. But I know my parents were honest people and hardworking, and the little that they have, they provided for me and my siblings, and we were just disciplined. So now even a simple thing as the music that we listen, that also play a big part. So if you listen a certain type of music, then you feel a certain way. So growing up, my dad never allowed us to listen. Back in the days, it would be 96.1 and 98.1 or whatever. Anything with dancehall, he used to be no. So I grew up listening Mighty Sparrow, Kitchen, my Kitchen, Super Blue, and these people and them. And also knowing your culture. Knowing your culture. So we is known for people, happy kind of, go-lucky kind of people. And grew up on calypso and soca music, but they will find young generation more gravitating towards dancehall music and a certain type of music that promote violence. So I think that is something that you all have access to now, to YouTube and Spotify and all these ways to get your music. That it's very important that what you put into your brain, what you put into here, is how you will feel.
And Dwayne, what you're saying is not only motivating to the youngsters, but to the parents. We have another parent wanting to come and ask a question. Please come up, Nisha.
Thank you. Thank you for having this informative session with the kids. I think as a parent, I'm learning a lot just by your story, which is great. So what I want to know as a parent, supporting a young athlete, how do I encourage that athlete with getting passion for their craft and developing and growing without pressuring them? Or should I be pressuring them?
I think there's a balance. So the pressure have to be not a pressure where you discourage them, but there's a pressure have to be like a motivation kind of pressure. So they might have a bad game or don't feel like training, they're not waking up and feeling to train. Again, communication is important. Why they don't want to train? Is that they're not enjoying the training? It's something with the coach, it's something with the teacher, something. You have to figure out first why they're not enjoying the sport, why they don't want to go and train. And when you get those answers, then you'll be able to answer and identify what it is, how you should answer that question. But it's important to keep encouraging your kids in whichever field they're in, because again, especially in sports, I could only speak on sports because that is where my success comes from. If any one of your kids become successful in the sport that they choose, it's a life-changing moment for all of you. So that will always be the end goal. You know, you have to give them a chance. I always say, it's always best to try and fail than fail to try. So try first. Keep trying. Keep trying. And when you fail, you try again. You fail, you try again, because eventually you will become successful. Okay, so the parents, make sure you keep encouraging your kids, and then also be realistic. If time going by and you realize like it's not working out, it's costing you money, it's costing you stress, because in sports, you don't get much support from a government level, and if you're not really solid financially, it could take a toll. So you have to know at some point in time, you have to weigh up how much more you can go and how much more, how longer, because they don't want to have that pressure of keep putting out that money and being stressful financially and they're not seeing progress in your child. And if it is, you realize that, you have to try and figure out what is the next best option for your child.
Thank you.
Okay.
And Dwayne, before we come to the end, you literally exude humility. You exude humility, and I've heard many fans talk about you and talk about how humble you are. And just sitting here, that, you know, it's a testament itself. How important is being humble and in your situation, being in the headlines and world famous, and obviously somebody like yourself going to the grocery, what's supposed to take 20 minutes can take 2 hours because everybody wants your autograph. What is the secret that keeps you so humble?
I think it's the upbringing from my parents. That is it. I think, again, coming from humble beginning, I grew up knowing that my parents have nothing. So I know what it is like to have nothing. And even now, like my parents, I have, but I still live a life where I don't have. I can relate it to everybody else. And my father and my mother, as much as I am successful and I have a little bit of money now, my father, I think my mom and my father is like, you know, you can see things could have gone a different way. You know, my parents knowing that they never had anything, and now that I have, they could have want everything. They could have won the world, they could have want me to buy everything for them. And I never experienced that. And I think because they remain humble and remain grounded, I just remain the same. And as Auntie says, she follows me on Instagram. She knows how close I am with my dad and my mom and my parents. And I just live a very simple life. To some people, it might look flashy, because obviously I like nice things. But the real me, I'm just normal, I'm simple. So my dad, I always make fun of him. So he's 70-something now. And to this day, he don't have a bank account. Can you believe that? Can you believe Dwayne Bravo father don't have a bank account? And if I ask him why you don't have a bank account, he'll say like, for what? I have no money. And that's the honest truth. And he is somebody, if my father wants $1,000 and I give him 2,000, or I give him 1,200, he giving me back that 200. I want 1,000. And that's how he live. And my mom is the same thing. Sometimes I'll come and you need anything? No, son, I don't need anything. They never need anything. So for me, that humbleness with my parents is what it is instilled in me. And sometimes it works for me, sometimes it works against me, because I'm also somebody who very like one of my friends said to me, I'm the closest thing to Jesus, because I just give everything to anybody. I try to help people. I try to make a difference in other people's life in any small way that's possible. Because again, I grew up with nothing. So I know what it is like to have nothing. I know what it is to want a pair of shoes and my parents can't afford it. I know what it is that my father have to go to 3 or 4 different houses to make up money to buy a cricket bat, to buy a bag, to buy shoes. So I know about all those things. So when I see these kind of scenarios, I will always try my best to help as much as possible, because sports is not easy. It's not a cheap thing. And if you want the best, if you want the kids to come out the best, it requires a little bit of investment, but that will also benefit in the long run. So to answer your question, my humbleness comes from my parents. So when you guys make it, remember to stay humble and stay grounded, okay? Because eventually, no matter how much money you make, it's just money. It's not really important.
And Dwayne, are we going to finish off like this? The youngsters would like to come forward. All the youngsters, it's Legion Buttertons, come forward. And they want you to just give them a close-up, a little verse from your song. Are we going to like it? So all the youngsters come forward, please. Because we're all champions here. Parents, everybody come forward. Everybody.
So how much cricketers here? 1, 2, 3. They have to turn around. So they want you all to turn around.
All right, so let's turn and face the camera. Face the face. Yeah.
So you're taking a picture first, and then you're singing after?
Yeah.
Sing first. So all you know this song, Champion? Anybody know it? Yeah, so let me go. And then we have to do the dance, all right? So let's go. So. DJ Bravo, DJ Bravo, DJ Bravo. Everybody knows, say Bravo, a champion. Sing champion, 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 champion. Everybody know Chris Gale is a champion, Beanie a champion, Bounty a champion, Marshall is a champion, Buddy is a champion, Pollard is a champion, Lara is a champion, Gale is a champion. Don't forget Michael Jordan, Obama a champion, Mandela a champion, Serena a champion, Wendy a champion, Shelly a champion, 958, Bolt a champion. Sing champion, 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 champion. Everybody knows, say Bravo a champion. Yeah.
And to all the folks who joined us online, thank you very much. Dion Lafayette saying thank you to all the different people, Ackley's House, Rosano Bodyworks, Car Works, sorry. Thank you very much. It won't be possible, and we want to thank you, Bravo, on behalf of all the people of the world, because this has been streamed all over the world, for taking the time to come. And you've really inspired us today. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.